Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger steaks. This is beef country, Texas, home to the Alamo, the Cowboys, and the largest military installation known to man. So big, it has a big name. Fort Hood, the great place. It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
Yeah, I am. Hi, I'm Dave Larsen, and like the guy told you before, this is Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. And I was told by a first-time listener that, hey, we really like your shtick and we like the energy, but who the heck are you people? So we're going to go around the room. This is, wait a minute, it's radio. You don't know what's to my right or my left, so I can go that way. Who are you, lady? And why are you here? I'm pointing.
Lessard, and I work here.
You're who?
Sergeant Lessard, and I work
Do
here.
you have a first name?
Sergeant. Yes. Sergeant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're not even the highest ranking person in the room, so get over yourself. Try again.
Sergeant Melissa Lessard.
There you go. And you're with the 504th Expeditionary Military Intelligence Brigade right here at the Great Place. Ooh. All right. So there's one. All right. You there, sir. Your name, rank, and don't give me your social.
I mean, I would like to look at my driver's license because sometimes I have senior moments, but I had to give it up when I came in because I had to get a visitor's badge. But my name is Sergeant First Class Kelvin Ringold, and I am not happy.
He's salty. Well,
You are.
Well, welcome. Okay. And last but not least, the other 1/3 of the original co-host team, who we haven't introduced in like eons, according to my first-time listener.
I would like to remain an enigma.
Well, there you go. And who are you, young lady?
I am Specialist Brianna Dew, and I'm with the 1st Cavalry Division Band.
If you ain't Cav, you ain't. Never mind.
Oh, Kelvin, we
Never
forgot
mind.
your unit of designation,
13th ESC.
which is Expeditionary Sustainment Command for all you folks that don't know Army acronyms.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So that's the team, that's the crew, and you're not having a good day. You didn't have a good weekend, did you?
No, I didn't, Dave.
Tell me about it.
Well, when you're driving down 14, minding your own business, and all of a sudden a truck in front of you swerves, and you have a tire coming right at you. When I say the tire's coming at me, it's just a normal tire just rolling. But then this baby starts picking up steam. Boom, hit the sweet spot and just gets air like Tony Hawk doing whatever skateboarders do. And I'm telling you, if I did not swerve, because I was in the middle lane, if I didn't have a little bit of leeway to swerve left, it would have went through my windshield.
Oh, my God.
My hood is crushed.
It hit your car.
My Kia, yep. Then in my fiberglass hood. I mean, if it was like an old school car, it wouldn't even matter. But
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, bounce.
You know how they make it.
So scary.
Just boom, took out my light, took out my hood.
Fiberglass hood.
I mean,
ow.
How does that happen? A tire?
Well, you saw it. I wasn't
I'm just
there.
glad it
A
didn't
random
hit
tire?
you.
I mean,
I saw on the news a lady died from a tire that fell off a car and hit
that's
her.
what I'm saying. It could easily
It's
come
so
through the windshield.
scary. Ugh.
Then there would only be 3 hosts.
No.
Kind of.
No.
Kind of. Not to try and one up you because I don't think I can, but there was a truck, right? Semi. Hit a dog, or the dog was already dead, right? But because of the wheels and all that stuff, it kicked the dog up, and the dog hit the grill of my car.
No, this is awful. I
Right?
don't want to hear this.
It was like it hit, and thing cost like $5,000 in damage because of the sensors that are in, cars for the, the warning lights and all that stuff.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. My insurance was like, are you sure that's what happened? Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, you can't make these things
I can't make that up, It's a dead dog, probably, been dead forever, but the truck just kicked it up just right, rolled over it. Instead of flattening it, it went right into my car.
This is bumming me out.
No fun. Yeah. What?
I'm going to go home and hug my dog.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm coming, Louise. Don't worry.
Man, you guys had horrible weekends.
Let's move on to some happier
wait a minute.
stuff.
You had fun this weekend, though, didn't you, Melissa?
Yeah.
Kind
I heard you had a party or something.
Huh?
I don't party.
Warfighter.
I'm too old for that.
I mean, the warfighter party.
Yeah,
The
sure.
warfighter.
So you had to work all
Warfighters, one
weekend,
big
huh?
party.
Everybody's
Yes, I
so
worked.
salty.
Yes.
I'm not salty.
No, it was really awesome getting to know our counterparts that are here right now. And it's super fun to talk to them and get to know them and work together. But oh my goodness, working on the weekends. Not cool.
So it's Monday and you're tired.
Yes, I'm tired. I've worked 7 days.
Well, you didn't even get a weekend.
Hey, we got
there
the
you
safety day off coming up Friday.
Well, they're fighting the war,
Shout out
man.
to safety.
Yeah, the
No
war does
time
not
off during
stop.
warfighter.
Nope.
We're proud of you.
Yes, we are.
For
what a real
serving
deployment would be
our
like, right?
country.
I'm not.
Thank you for your service. What about you,
I
Brianna?
love it. I had a great weekend. I went out and looked at the bluebonnets.
Again?
Yeah, you took pictures
I-
with your Lolita hats.
I
and
did.
the
I
bonnets.
gotta ask it.
Yeah.
It was a big thing in last show. I gotta ask. Did you find your driver's license?
I did. So I didn't find it until the end of the week. So
Oh my
I was
goodness.
So
driving.
you were driving around illegally.
I had a
for
passport.
how long?
I had a passport though, but
It's not a driver's license.
it was like 4 days. I could not find it. Let me tell you. I looked everywhere. I called like 10 different places that I went for the last week because I didn't know how long it had been missing. And my work messaged me. I think it was Thursday night, and they said, "Hey, we're gonna have a vehicle inspection tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, I can't. I don't even know where my driver's license is." So I found it. I stayed up until midnight looking for it.
Wow.
I found it underneath my recliner. I had to lift the chair all the way up because I had checked under it, but it wasn't on the edges. It was literally in the very center on the floor. I don't know how it got there. I mean, it must have fallen out of my wallet and I didn't realize it. But I'm so glad I found it because I was really stressing. Yeah. So all is right now. But my license expires in 3 weeks because of my birthday.
She gets to spend the day at the DMV,
DMV.
anyway.
I know. I forgot that it expired. It's been 10 years.
Well, there you go.
Ugh.
All right. Well, we have a great show this week, do we not?
Yes, we do.
And the studio that we record this in,
It's hot.
well, yeah, it gets hot. Oh, you wait. Oh,
It does.
summertime? Ooh.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah. Well, I need some air circulation. But for social distancing and COVID and all that stuff, protocols, there's only a few of us that can be in here at a time. So the first interview is Brianna and Kelvin, and you guys are taking on Alcohol Awareness Month, right?
Yes.
ASAP.
Yeah. And you got
Yes.
Carl Smith coming in from the Fort Hood ASAP program.
Carl's
And-
nice. We like Carl.
Yeah. And he will be in studio with the two of you
Yes.
right after this.
Flash floods in central Texas happen within only a few hours of rain. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people drown in their vehicles each year in Texas. Vehicles of every size can lose control, float, and roll over in flood conditions. Is taking the risk worth it? Is it worth the risk of leaving loved ones behind? Overconfidence kills. Don't drive through floodwater. It's not worth it.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. Close enough for the government, good enough for you.
All right. So we are about to discuss a serious topic, but we're going to do it upbeat, right? Because that's what we do.
Always upbeat. Yep.
Yes.
A little
nonchalant.
And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Carl Smith, who is the prevention coordinator for the Alcohol Awareness Month, correct?
Yes, I'm the lead on this
ASAP?
one, yes.
Yeah, ASAP, yes.
Alcohol Substance Abuse Program.
Yes, Alcohol Substance Abuse Program.
April has so many things.
I know. April's like, I feel like they put all the heavy topics in April. Because spring is like blooming and
It's supposed to be
seasonally,
cheery. Yeah.
you're like, you can cope with it a little bit more. That's my take on it. But
Or maybe
yes.
they're just adding everything together that kind of correlates. Childhood.
That's a good point too.
Oh yeah, like cause and effect.
So at ASAP, what is the significance of Alcohol Awareness Month?
Well, it's probably the first word in our name as well, right? So
Right.
got to kind of focus on that. But one of the main things with ASAP, and we just want to bring awareness to a lot of our soldiers, because we do realize that one of the main abused substances that soldiers use is first and foremost alcohol. I mean, how many times have you heard that in a safety briefing? Like, if you drink, don't
drive. Yeah.
Don't drive. If you drink, have a plan, and
Right.
don't drink to excess, and only do what you can afford. I'm sure we've all heard that before.
Oh yeah.
What? I've never. No.
Love the sarcasm. Right. And so this is also the month that she was alluding to, that, a lot of things happen in the springtime, and one of those is prom as well.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
End
I
of
do
the
need
year.
to get my tux.
Spring break.
Yes, spring break.
And then we also have Memorial Day weekend, Cinco de Mayo, right
Coming
around
up
the
quick.
corner.
Fiesta, siesta.
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Known for
And then Mother's Day.
yes.
Right. So a lot of big things about right after April or during April. And so that's one reason why we really focus with alcohol awareness, because we forget that drinking is not a bad thing. One drink an hour is good, but do we drink to excess?
Everything is good in moderation.
Moderation.
Well, just about. I don't want to say everything. So another observance this month is the month of the military child. So how can we correlate the two?
Well, I think CNBC did a great little stint on that during like March 21st, I want to say it was. And they even explained that during the pandemic, there's been an increase of over 20% increase of children even drinking during the pandemic because they've been home alone, or even going after some pills sometimes out of the medicine cabinets when mom and dad's not there. And we know that military is a very stressful job. And there are a lot of times we're not always home for our kids during the day because we're doing our jobs protecting the country. So that's something we want to also bring awareness to, is that, hey, when we leave these kids home to, stay at home, do their schoolwork, do a few chores, we're also leaving alcohol at home. And that can be a very dangerous mixture because their brain's not really developed yet.
How does Alcohol Awareness Month also correlate to the Sexual Assault Awareness Month?
Well, don't get me wrong, we're never going to say, and it's not possible to say that, alcohol causes sexual assault. It doesn't. It's just one of those additives that about 50% or higher situations occur with alcohol involvement and other extracurricular drugs and prescription meds. And you can't consent, obviously, if you're inebriated. I mean, that's one of the first things that gets taken away from you when you are drinking alcohol, right? It's your ability to mentally focus, have cognitive awareness. A lot of times we make those poor decisions when we're doing that. I mean, think about how many times people go out and just say, I'm only going to have one drink. It's like a Pringles chip.
Right.
You ever just have one?
Can't just have one.
And then when you
Pringle.
have one, you have two, and two turns into three.
Right.
And then you're past your 0.05, which is your mental impairment. And then do you always say no, or just keep on charging it to the credit card?
Swipe.
Yeah. There's a lot of not action, but I'm forgetting the word. Consequences. Ugh. There's a lot of consequences with it.
Well, think about it. We don't always think. I mean, when you eat a Pringles chip, you're like, oh, I'm just going to have one. You have two. You have three. You don't think how many calories or cholesterol you're taking in. Same thing with steak.
Oh, I know. That's right.
Going out to eat, you plan to have one plate when you go to a buffet. You
What?
don't-
I don't.
But then you have more. And same thing goes with alcohol. And that's just what we're trying to bring awareness to, because, how many drinks are in a Long Island iced tea?
Oh, 4.
I
There you
thought
go.
It was 2.
No, he's right.
4?
Yeah, 4.
I mean, they used.
And that's if they
used
make
to
it
be
the right
back
way.
then. Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
Oh
right.
my
And so
gosh.
think about it. If you have 4 and you have 2 of those, how many drinks would most people say they had? 2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
But they had 8 standard drinks.
Wow.
And
I
if
never
you're-
thought about that.
Yeah, and if you're a 140-pound female at 8 standard drinks,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you're at a 0.23.
That is something I always think about. So that's a good point. So shots, beers, drinks. I mean, what is it that counts as a drink, a standard drink?
So a spirit, right, like liquor, if it's 40% alcohol, 1.5 ounces of 40% alcohol is a standard drink. 12 ounces of American beer is a standard drink, right? And then 5 ounces of American wine. Now, the reason why I have to say American, not that we're not downgrading Europe, but there's a little stronger, right? And if you get lagers, that's a lot harder. And of course, if you have the same shot of Everclear as you do JD, I see your face over there. That same shot would be 2.5 standard drinks. And that's why we say about mixed drinks, because if you have one of those, like, let's say La Margarita, like you go to a restaurant, La Margarita, it's not a small margarita that's 3 standard drinks, that's 6. So if you have 2 of those, that's 12. And everybody's like, oh, 0.2 is kind of hot. Well, we don't realize because we drink it, has salt, has sugar in it.
Right.
So we want to drink more and we like it. So we don't think about those things when we start drinking. We don't plan on it. We keep on going.
Well, I noticed that that's exactly what addiction is, right? You can't control how much you intake, whether it's alcohol or food or drugs, things like that.
I think you bring up a good point, though. How you say, it's not just alcohol, it's drugs, food. A lot of times we get addicted to things we don't realize. I mean, think of how much you pick up your cell phone.
Yes.
I was actually just looking for mine right now.
Right? Think of how much you
Yeah.
pick up your cell phone and you look at it, you don't think about it. Then we got texting and driving, which is another high risk thing.
Yes.
And we're taught to, in the military, we push the limits a lot of times with our jobs.
Right.
Yes.
So we get so used to that. So maybe that kind of correlates over to when I'm driving a car. Maybe I text and drive. If I can use a headset when I'm driving a military vehicle, what does it say that I shouldn't be able to use my cell phone?
Right.
So we get used to it, occurs over and over, becomes natural.
So, I mean, you brought up the pandemic. It's been stressful for everybody.
Yeah.
And say I'm a soldier, a family member that may have kind of, started using alcohol as a crutch. One drink started into 2, and then next thing you know, you're drinking every night. Say a soldier realizes they need help. What can they do? What can your organization do for them?
So this month we're setting up different locations and at different units. We're trying to be more personal because of the pandemic, not being somewhere stagnant or static in displays. And so we're going down to units. We even take these little pinwheels that has the XX chromosome on one side, XY chromosome on the other side with weight and alcohol. And we let people see how much their weight would be and how many drinks. But to be more virtual about it so that people don't feel like they have to come in or that they're not, getting looked at negatively.
Right.
We, every week on Monday, we're setting up on our Facebook page 4 to 7 even sometimes different websites that you can go to that are either interactive or just self-questions that you have to ask. And at the end it says, the score, or maybe you need to see a provider. And of course for ASAP, the clinical side is under Cadette, and they're doing a great job over there. The counselors, they can go get a self-assessed. And if it's just for alcohol, they don't even have to tell the commanders. They can go in and sign their own form and get assessed just for alcohol. Now, obviously other drugs, because like if you're military intelligence or CID or whatnot, if it's for like cocaine or meth that they're having addiction to, their unit commander may need to know about taking them off certain duties. But by all means, you can get screened that way.
So for anybody who's not familiar with your social media page, where can they find you guys at?
Fort Hood ASAP on Facebook. All you got to do is type in Fort Hood ASAP Facebook page. First one pops up, and it comes in. And then, of course, the 3 Corps, we have the main page there as well. It tells the office hours and whatnot. But I even have it where it goes to the cell phone right here. So if anybody asks a question on Facebook or, private message, within
whenever I'm done training, I can look at it and answer their questions.
All right. There you go. So is there anything that you would like to tell those listening out there, not only about alcohol awareness, but just, ASAP in general?
Yeah, ASAP has many entities. We even, besides just our the prevention side where we teach about drugs and alcohol, we also have an EAP side, Employment Assistance Program, which is a great, two great men over there, Mike Asher and Mike Hurst. And so spouses, DA civilians, retirees, if they think they may have drug or alcohol or they want to be assessed, they can also go through our EAP program. And of course, everybody knows us for the lab as well, drug testing, the core policy, 200% and whatnot. And even UPLs can get the breathalyzers for the drunk on duty test. It's non-evidentiary, but they can go sign out it. Any commander can have their UPL come out and sign out breathalyzers for the month of April as well. But we also have the suicide program over there. And of course, we know that alcohol sometimes is involved when people are making some high-risk choices and making some decisions. And so we also have that page as well. And so anytime anybody needs training for any one of those, we'll be more than happy to come out.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate you telling us all about your organization.
I appreciate it too. Thank y'all for having me.
But just before we go, do you have any tips or anything that you could tell our soldiers, our listeners, that keep them safe, especially when alcohol is involved?
Obviously, there's some warning signs that you can always look at. But the biggest thing, as I always tell people, is we have a program called 0123. And if you've ever been deemed as an alcoholic by a professional, obviously you shouldn't drink at all, right? If you're taking any prescription meds or if you're taking any cancer-related meds, you shouldn't drink at all. But we're not saying you can't drink. Quite in fact, the other thing we say one an hour is actually good for your body. It's science-based information. 1 an hour is a good thing. 2 a day, you actually live longer than everybody else, according to the stats and according to the research that we even teach in our ADAP class. 1-2 beers daily is just fine. But when you get past 4 to 5 standard drinks a day, especially under the age of 25, that's where danger is, and that's where binge drinking comes in. And that's typically almost any weight. Once you get past that 5 standard drinks is where your mental impairment begins, and that's where the high-risk behavior starts.
Okay, Carl, we definitely appreciate it. Hey, everybody, stay safe. You heard their social media site. If you have any questions, you can message them. Carl, as soon as he has time for Miss Training, he will get back to you. So if you think you may need help, hey, help is available. Don't be afraid.
Yes, there are resources available.
Yes, there is. Thanks again, Carl, for coming in.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And we will be right back after these messages.
Save money and get special military discounted tickets to your favorite attractions like Six Flags, Schlitterbahn, SeaWorld, Disney World, and more. Stop by our Leisure Travel Services office located right here on post to get those tickets. For more information, go to our website at hood.armymwr.com. Have fun!
If you've got problems and feel like you just can't get answers, there's a place for you to turn. The Inspector General's Hotline. They take your issues seriously. If you're at the end of your rope and need someone to reach out to, grab a pen and take down this number. 254-287-7209. That's 254-287-7209. The Fort Hood office of the Inspector General. They inspect generals, so you don't have to.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. 50% of the time, they're right. 50% of the time.
All right, so it is the month of April.
What happens in April?
So it is Earth Day.
Yeah.
All the
My
good
kids
stuff.
love Earth Day.
Yes. So today we have Miss Jackelyn Ferrer-Perez.
Hello, everyone.
She is a returning guest with DPW Environmental Sustainability Program Manager. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we also have Inara Hauser and Cameron Hauser.
Hello.
Inara is a Girl Scout cadet, and her mom is the troop leader of Girl Scout Troop 6318. Welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
So I heard you did some really great community work recently for your leadership skills, correct?
Yes, the Silver Award.
Silver Award, yes.
Yes, it is the highest you can get as a cadet, and the second highest award you can get just overall as a Girl Scout.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Moving on up. That's great. So tell us what about the Montague Community Garden.
Well, it was, of course, fairly overgrown before I started because it was just kind of left there. Nobody really did anything with it for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went out there was a lot of weed picking especially to do and like trimming stuff back and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now it is all ready for planting so that people can go out there, plant stuff, and then as well as harvest anything that is out there.
Wow.
That's super exciting. So I've been in Montague Village for 3 years, and I knew there was a garden, but I didn't know you could harvest.
But now you're going to be going out there.
Hey, yes. I want to go see all the awesome vegetables. I think my kids would really like to see it too.
Yeah, that's great. I love going out in nature. I love hiking and exploring. So it's really great that you're giving back to the Fort Hood community.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Camping is like one of my favorite things to do in nature, so having another thing to do out there is really good.
Yes, and that's a really common thing that Girl Scouts do, correct?
Yes, camping, like almost every especially higher level Girl Scout troops do camping at least once a year.
There's a lot of leadership opportunities out there.
Yeah, and Girl Scouts does really like to build on the whole leadership aspect of the goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you fundraise for the garden?
Most of it was coming out from asking family for like Christmas, birthday stuff. That was just one of the easiest, and I knew they would probably always give me something to start with, even if I had to eventually go back and do something else to get more. Plus, I already had some of my own already saved up from just not knowing what to do with it.
Which is so awesome because anytime I give my kids money, they just want to immediately go to the store and buy toys, right? They don't know the value of saving anything yet. So I think it's awesome that you know the value of saving and are super selfless with it and want to give back to the community instead of spending it on yourself.
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah, with my money, I do like saving it as well as just most of the time I don't even know what I want to do with it, so it just kind of sits there and saves up. Sometimes I like buy something for one of my siblings or something like that, and that will end up being it. Or that or it goes towards some big thing that I want.
That's so awesome. Such a good skill to have.
She bought herself an iPad on a whim a couple years ago because she just had the money sitting in her account.
Wow. So you really do save.
I don't know how it happens because my youngest is one of those, the moment she has money, she needs to go spend the money.
Yeah.
But no, this one, she just doesn't spend it. So, and then it builds up.
Yeah. Wow. That's really good. That's a really good trait to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially during these times.
Just sits there in my account.
So you got the idea to revitalize the garden just from noticing it and you walking by just day to day?
Well, part of it was that. Part of it also, I was just thinking about what would help the community, what would actually help a community or something like that. And my mom actually like mentioned and gave it the idea, and then it kind of just, we went out there, we looked at it, and it kind of just stuck, and I liked it.
Wow. That's so great. I tend to spend my money whenever I get it. So. I think it's so great that you like, instead of presents, you ask for money for things like helping the community.
Yes.
Pre-COVID, a lot of our troops also used to meet at the Montague Community Center right next to the garden.
Right.
So, we would see the garden as it, over the last couple of years, it wasn't being tended to because Fort Hood Family Housing was going to be closing the gardens.
Yes, I heard about that.
And then they gave Girl Scouts permission this year. They're like, hey, you guys are free to do what you want with them. We're not tearing them out, but we're also not doing anything with them. And we were like, we'll do that. So they gave us basically control over Montague and then the one that's in Comanche 3 next to the Comanche Community Center. So, but yeah, we noticed it over the last couple of years as it just deteriorated and overgrew, and it was just sort of like, there is a lot we could do out here. And so there's still a lot of projects that can be done out at Montague, and Comanche is still in need of all the things. But that's a labor of love that I'm not going to get into right now.
That's the next project, right? Will that be the gold award?
Probably. I mean, it's a possibility, but I'm hoping to save that for like maybe another gold silver award. And so like part of the silver is inspiring others to do something big, so we can leave that so that somebody else can go out there and do something like that. And my gold award will be, I don't know what it'll be yet, but something different, something new.
Yeah.
So are you guys going to continue to maintain the garden?
At least throughout this year, and just because I've learned that I really actually like gardening, I may continue to go out there even next year, just because it's something that I really like doing. So then it will be less of, we'll be partially helping the community. It'll be less of my silver or anything, and it'll just be like, I like doing this. It helps the community, might as well kind of thing.
Right. So what you need is a placard. This is probably maintained by the Girl Scouts.
Yes, we do.
I mean, we do have little signs out there saying, this is maintained by this, or this is maintained by this, and, like, a lot of the beds that are currently claimed, not all of them, but a decent amount of them are saying, like, this is maintained by Fort Hood Girl Scouts, or this is maintained by all troop of 6318, or something like that.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
You can go and get fresh veggies soon, right?
Yes.
You're gonna walk out there.
Lettuce is already ready for at least the bottom leaves to kind of be like picking off.
Yeah.
And then like there's tomatoes and peppers and broccoli out there that are starting to get ready to be.
Oh, it's time for a salad.
Even if the broccoli does not produce actual broccoli because they're super close together, the leaves are still edible for anything like guinea pigs or humans.
Yes.
I've never had
There
broccoli
are also 2 peach trees and a plum tree, and all of them have fruit on them already. Like, they're not ready for harvest, but like the baby fruits are there, and by June, July, there should be fresh peaches and fresh plums out there.
When I was pregnant, I loved the smell of peaches.
I love
Oh,
peaches.
yummy.
I love that it's springtime. I'm so glad we're over the winter and now everything's blooming.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yes. With the plum
Hopefully
tree,
that's all done.
actually picked off one of the baby plums and cut open into it and saw the pit forming a bit. And I actually licked it. It was very tall. I was interested in what it was like, so I picked it off. We cut it open. We saw the pit forming, and then I decided to lick it. It was tall.
That's great. So, Miss Ferrer-Perez,
Yes, ma'am.
what else is going on in Fort Hood as far as other environmental programs?
So we had a very exciting week last week. We just signed our MOU for the Centex Sustainable Communities Partnership. And so that was signed for another 3 years by our very own Garrison Commander, Colonel Westbrook.
Yay.
And yes, and many members of neighboring communities. And so we just bring all these communities together for the partnership to really support overall quality of life and economic vitality of the community. And so it's really important to keep that initiative alive and thriving. And so we're really happy about the next 3 years and what's coming. So it's been great.
I was super excited that ceremony was held in Nolanville because my unit is partnered with Nolanville. So everybody had to come to Nolanville and see the work that we did.
So is that the 504th
Yes.
Brigade? Yes. And so Christine really wanted me to bring that up and say a special thanks because you guys are just, a pillar for the community and to help just overall beautification of certain areas. And so it's really great work. And I was going to mention, whenever I was going through and kind of doing some research, I noticed that you guys have a Facebook page, and so, so I was able to get caught up on that, and I think it's awesome that you guys do this, but in addition to your mission, which is to provide, the situational awareness to our leadership. So kudos to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So we did, that was a really nice ceremony. And it was really exciting to see all the community members getting together. I don't think I've seen that many governors or mayors.
It was a fantastic turnout.
In one place at one time.
Yes, it was great.
A little overwhelming.
Yeah, and it really shows you that there is a really big interest from the community surrounding us to really enhance the quality of life of not just the members, civilian members of the community, but also the military, and just everybody coming together to make that happen is an awesome thing to see. So
yeah, absolutely. And then big ol' shout out to Keep Nolanville Beautiful, because they're the ones who like to what do you call it? What's the word when you bring a bunch of people together?
Congregate.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the ones who plan a lot of the revitalization and planting and cleaning up in the community in our area, at least anyway. Yeah. So all those units that are out there, get to cleaning and keep your areas beautiful and looking nice. Get all that trash out of this area and plant your trees, make it livable for the next generation.
How many volunteers participate with the 504th Brigade?
It depends on it just depends on the event.
Okay.
Last week we had over 30 people come out.
That's amazing.
And then the weekend prior, I don't remember if it was the weekend prior or the weekend before that. My days are getting all blurred right now.
Yes, we were just talking about how today is the Monday. What was it that you said?
It was the Mondayest of Mondays.
Oh, Mondays. There you go.
It was one of those, if something can go wrong,
it's for sure going to happen.
Sure going to happen.
I definitely felt that.
So we had just done where there was a river cleanup. We planted trees. We cleaned up the gardens and stuff. There was a lot of volunteers out for that too, maybe 20, maybe more. And then before that, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, you guys are great.
Yeah,
The interest is out there. You just need something to help push it and make people actually go and take and start helping.
Yes, and being able to have so much support to really execute, bring those projects into reality is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great that your unit does that. I didn't realize, because every Army unit has their own area beautification that we all know and love. Not actually, but
so there's actually a partnership between units and a specified town. So some units have like Dallas or Houston or Killeen, Harker Heights. 3CR has Harker Heights. And then we have Nolanville. So we partner with them to do big events like parades or go to city council meetings or work with the schools in that area.
Okay.
That's also a part of the Adopt a School program. And then one of our big events that we did with community was give them like 5,000 pounds of food.
Wow, my unit doesn't do any, I've never heard of any of this. I'm like so confused right now.
But there's a big old shout out to our boss rep though, because she does a lot of the hard work right now with like getting all of the events coordinated and bringing it to our, bringing it up and making sure that we have people to go, which is super awesome because it's a lot of help.
Yeah.
She knows how to connect with people and get people to volunteer.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
That's what you need to keep the environmental impact going.
Yeah. Somebody who's super passionate about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got help for your gardens here.
Yes. Yes. Come on, 504th members, go help with the gardens.
Yes. And we also have, we presented Inara with an award for the YEA program, the Youth Environmental Ambassadors, ! Or
awesome.
As Christine says, YEA, ! Yay!
Yeah.
I'm not as good at it as she is, but yes. And so we presented her with her award, and we did a tree planting over at the Adaptive and Integrative Management Community Gardens by the Natural Resources Management Branch Office. And so that's a really nice area to visit if you haven't done so yet too. Yes.
How do we get there?
So they have, the AIM team has a Facebook page, and on the Facebook page you can find more information.
Okay.
About, and they love to have volunteers come out and help them maintain the gardens. It's a lot of work. So Charlie Plimpton and Chelsea Plimpton, they're the lead on the program, and so if you contact them through their Facebook page, they'd be happy to help you come out.
I feel like we've talked to them before.
Have we?
They've been.
Do they do the bird watch?
They've been here, yes. So
yes.
Yes. So Charlie's the avian biologist, and Chelsea does the pollinator work, and so They both lead those initiatives, and yes, they've been here before.
Okay.
Awesome.
I've heard their voices, but I have not seen them. So I have a picture in my mind of what they look like because I wasn't there for those interviews.
Well, congratulations on your award. I didn't
Yes.
realize you received one. That's
Thank
so
you.
awesome.
Yes, doing some awesome work.
It was amazing.
Oh,
Keep doing your awesome work,
Yes.
right? Because those are skills that are so valued.
Yes, it is.
Well, I will try and definitely keep up with everything. And I'm hoping that even if I don't do like stuff with the community garden, I can still do gardening things because that I think it's going to become a passion hobby of mine.
Yes.
Right.
That is a good hobby to have.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And if you would like to help or learn more about volunteering, you can join the Montague Community Garden Facebook group.
Yep. We started a Facebook group to help promote the community garden and hopefully help get people out there. So if anybody wants to help, you can go out there, and we might not be there when you plant, but if you want to plant anything, just tell us on the group so that we can change the sign to say, hey, this is maintained by this person, please don't plant anything illegal.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
important.
awesome. I'm gonna broadcast that now on my Brigade page.
Yay. That's great.
Yes,
All
what's really awesome is that all of this, it's well aligned to support the People's First initiative too, and so
Right.
what better way to it's the fundamentals of that particular program is based upon individualized or specialized guidance and leadership for all of you, and one of the best ways to foster that relationship is by improving the quality of life by beautifying and protecting and conserving your natural environment. So
Yes.
we're on the right track.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
absolutely. So, Jackie, any final thoughts?
Yes. So a couple more things that we want to mention too, some more initiatives is the Beyond Writing in the month of May. And so with that, so as parents, at the end of the school year, the book bag goes in a corner somewhere and you kind of forget about it because it's summertime. It's time to have fun. But we use this event to encourage kids to go through their backpacks and pull out those old notebooks and paper and either reuse it or repurpose it or recycle it. And so that's one initiative that we're going to start promoting on the page. And to register for any of the projects through the YAY program, Christine has a form that you can fill out on the Facebook page. And so if you go onto the Facebook page, find the form on one of her posts, and you can contact her through Facebook, or you can give her a call or submit the form through Facebook or email. So
Awesome deal. I know I have a bunch of notebooks that my kids don't use. Just sitting in a drawer.
I always use up my note. I like draw so much and doodle.
I write so much that every single page gets used.
Yeah, so do I.
If I don't use them, usually they go to one of my siblings and they will like draw in them or something like that. So
Awesome reuse.
Yes.
Absolutely.
yes, and so for Earth Day on Friday, we're going to have at the Hood Stadium, we're going to have an event in collaboration with Month of the Military Child. And so it'll be a drive-through event, and there'll be lots of fun goodies for the kiddos to enjoy. So we encourage everybody to come to the drive-through event. There'll be environmental staff there to provide information on different services we provide and recycling. And so it'll be from 5 o'clock to 8 p.m. So we look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yay.
Oh, that's great.
Exciting. I think I might take my kids.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, I have one more thing.
Yes.
So it's also compost month. So we're still in the process of kind of trying to think about different events or different initiatives that we can get going for compost month. And we have a compost site on Fort Hood, and a lot of people don't know that. And so
I didn't.
Yes, and so it's a part of our waste diversion initiative so that we can minimize the amount of waste that goes into the landfill. So we collect food scraps from a variety of facilities like the CYS centers and the dining facilities. And so we take that and we combine it with a couple of other things, and we make grade A compost.
So I have a question about the compost, right? So when throughout my years, I've seen different people have like those brown trash cans, which is for compost, right? But not everybody has them. How do you get them? Because me and my husband are so used to separating our trash and our recycling and our compost stuff because of how he grew up.
Okay.
How do you get to do compost?
Okay, so as far as the housing areas go, that's something that you would have to go through Lend-Lease for, but you can participate with us directly if you like as well. I have a flyer that I can share, and I believe that Christy might have shared it on the Facebook page too, but we can repost it again so that we can have more people tracking. But we're now opening the opportunity to compost your food waste to everybody on the installation. And so if you want to come and bring your food scraps over to the compost site, you're more than welcome to do so. And the flyer has some contact information and instructions on how to do that. So
awesome. That is so awesome.
Yes, and we use the compost for beautification projects in the gardens, and we're also going to start using it, hopefully, maybe within the next year or so, to restore training lands, heavy maneuver areas in the training areas. Yes, so we're really excited about that.
Make those training areas green again.
I like it.
Instead of brown.
So you can train some more. All right. And with that, we will be right back after these messages.
Where do you go to get the latest news from Fort Hood, Texas?
The Fort Hood Sentinel.
And where do you go if you want ideas for things to do in Central Texas?
The Fort Hood Sentinel.
What if you don't have a copy of the Fort Hood Sentinel?
Then I go to my local newsstand and pick up a copy, or go online to www.forthoodsentinel.com.
The Fort Hood Sentinel, Fort Hood's premier place for news and Central Texas information, standing watch since 1942.
Flurmit the Sock here for the Thrift Savings Spam. Is it meat? Who knows?
Cut.
What?
Flurmit, baby, look at this script. It clearly says Thrift Savings Plan.
Oh, yeah.
It's about saving money, not lunch meat. Let's try this again.
Thanks, Steve. Flurmit the Sock here for the Thrift Savings Plan.
Got it, baby.
Soldiers and DoD civilians, listen up. Are you socking away a little bit of money each month in your TSP? What? You're not? They call me crazy. The Thrift Savings Plan is a great way to make sure that you've got the supplemental income you need when you get old and wrinkly. Plus, the government can match up to 5% of your contribution. That's a free money. Make it rain, Uncle Sam. Make it rain. So look out for your future and sock some money away in the Thrift Savings Plan account. Visit www.tsp.gov for more information. You can retire like an ex-prince moving to LA, or in my case, his wife.
That's a wrap.
Got a problem? Write your congressman. Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
I just realized this. I did not sit in on either one of the interviews this week.
Slacker. Oh, wow.
I think this is the least you've been on ever.
You know what that means, though, is we are growing up into real adults.
We're really blooming and blossoming.
Oh, it is springtime, right?
Yes. We're with the time.
Come on, you got to describe for me that coat, because that coat
it's a pastel wonderland.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Is that the Care Bears?
Yes, it's a denim.
I mean, not like I
pastel.
know that.
So it's pastel, rainbow colors, rainbows everywhere.
Yes.
With the Care Bears on it.
Mm-hmm. I'm very 90s today.
And it says
a shirt with Japanese on it.
Teddy Fresh.
Oh, yes. That's the podcast I listen to. Sorry. I didn't want to promote another podcast.
Great.
I'm so
Promoting
sorry.
another podcast on our podcast. You know, that first-time listener, was telling me we need to do a better job of promoting this thing, too. Thanks a lot, Brianna.
Sorry.
You're so
I
helpful.
didn't know this was going to line up. Oh, my goodness. But underneath it, I have a Sailor Moon shirt. So I'm very 90s, and that's not a podcast related.
Yeah, but that is, product endorsement.
Oh, that's true. Sorry.
The government does not endorse any products on Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, do we, Brianna?
No.
Well, there you go. All right. So, interesting, right?
Always.
Yeah. Yes. You guys were environmentally friendly.
Yes, we were.
Huh? You missed that one.
We're ready to plant trees.
I love the planet.
And
recycle
flowers and vegetables.
And reuse.
Use compost.
Yes.
Isn't compost like just another word for poop?
Horse stuff?
No, so compost is
Like
where you
food,
get all your food,
like your
like your food
scraps.
scraps, and you just kind of let it rot until it turns into dirt.
So it
Like
turns
banana
into
peels.
smelling like
Yes.
that anyway, right?
Yeah,
Sort
it just
of.
stinks,
It
but
does.
it's really good for plant life.
It's good for the environment.
Okay. All right.
My husband's dad uses compost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything has a cycle.
It's the circle of life.
Yes.
Right?
Much like this podcast. Because we're at the end.
Which we are at the end. And we had some very special guests.
We
did we not, Brianna?
We did.
Shout out to?
Yes. Shout out to Carl Smith, Jackelyn Ferrer-Perez, Inara Hauser, and Cameron Hauser.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This week.
Mother and daughter team, huh?
Yeah.
On the
Powerhouse.
podcast. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And we would be remiss, would we not, Kelvin? We didn't mention who actually performs this music that's playing right under us, right?
I would like to know because I don't know.
Will Courtney, our man in Austin.
But I know I love it. It's catchy. I may download it and put it on my iTunes.
on your music
my thing that
service
plays
thing.
music thing.
Yeah. So, Melissa, your turn. Say bye.
Sorry,
Take
I got
us
a
out.
little,
Come on.
Got a little sidetracked. Hey, thank you for joining us, and have a wicked good week. We will talk to you next week.
On Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
Yeah.
Driving down the road.